Dara lived in a small town surrounded by quiet hills and wide rivers. He used to have big dreams. He wanted to open a small business, take care of his mother, and help others in need. For a while, everything seemed to go well. People respected him. Friends surrounded him. He smiled often. But one day, everything started to fall apart. His business began to fail. His savings disappeared. His friends turned away. Even the people who once called him brother no longer answered his calls. Dara found himself sitting alone at night, staring at the ceiling and whispering, "Why, Jesus? Why did you let this happen?" Weeks passed. The pain grew heavier. Dara stopped praying. He stopped going to church. He told himself maybe Jesus helps others, but not me. He worked small jobs to survive, but every day felt empty. The more he tried to stand, the more life pushed him down. One night, a heavy storm came. The wind howled outside his small room. Dara sat near the window, rain dripping down the glass. He whispered, "If you're still there, Jesus, I don't need riches. I don't need success. I just need peace. I just need a reason to live again." Then he closed his eyes and cried quietly until he fell asleep. The next morning, Dara walked through the streets without direction. The rain had stopped, and the air felt calm. He noticed a small church at the corner of the road. The door was open. He hadn't stepped into a church in years, but something inside pulled him in. Inside, a few people sat in silence as the pastor spoke. "Sometimes Jesus doesn't calm the storm," the pastor said softly, "because he wants to calm you first." Those words struck Dara's heart like lightning. He sat at the back listening, tears slowly running down his face. For the first time in a long time, he felt that God was speaking directly to him. After the service, an old woman walked to him. She looked into his tired eyes and said, "Son, Jesus never left you. You just stopped looking up." Then she smiled and walked away. That night, Dara knelt beside his bed. For the first time in years, he prayed. Not for money, not for success, just for strength. "Jesus," he whispered, "I can't do this alone anymore. Help me rise again." The next morning, nothing around him changed, but something inside him did. He felt a quiet strength, a small light, a new peace. He began reading the Bible again, one verse at a time. He started visiting the church every week. He volunteered to clean the floors, help the poor, serve food to the homeless. Slowly his heart began to heal. He found joy again, not in what he owned, but in who was with him. Months passed. Dara opened a small repair shop. It wasn't big or fancy, but it gave him purpose. When people came to him, sometimes with broken devices, sometimes with broken hearts, he listened. He shared his story. He told them, "Jesus lifted me up when I was at my lowest. He can lift you too." People began to see something different in him. His smile had warmth again. His eyes carried peace. He no longer chased success. He walked with faith. Years went by. One morning, Dara climbed a small hill outside town. It was the same place he used to sit and cry when life had crushed him. This time, the sun was rising. Golden light filled the sky. Dara closed his eyes and whispered, "I once asked you why you let me fall, Jesus. Now I understand. I needed to fall to see you were the one who could lift me." He looked at the sunrise, a symbol of every new beginning. "I once walked in darkness," he said softly, "but I rose with Jesus, and I'll never walk alone again." The wind carried the sound of church bells across the valley. Birds flew across the brightening sky. The world seemed alive again. Dara smiled, not because everything was perfect, but because his heart was finally free. When life breaks you, don't stay down. Rise, not by your own strength, but with Jesus, because when you rise with him, you don't rise alone. You rise with hope, with peace, with a love that never leaves you. And that was how Dara's story changed, not by escaping the storm, but by finding calm in the middle of it. That is what it means to rise with Jesus.